Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I will be unboxing and taking a first look at Beneath the Med. This is the fourth entry in the Hunters series, a series of solitaire World War II submarine games from GMT Games. So we're going to take a deep dive into what's inside the box right after this. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, we are going to be taking a first look at Beneath the Med from GMT Games in just a moment. But I do want to remind you, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to ring the notification bell, because not only will it let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also tell you when my live stream, The Daily Dope, airs right here on YouTube Monday through Thursday nights as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com as we approach our 10th anniversary. Be sure to pop by, check out the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, as mentioned, I am going to be diving on into Beneath the Med, which is from GMT Games. It's designed by Gregory M. Smith with artwork provided by Roger B. McGowan and Ian Wedge. The game is for one player. It is a solitaire game. It's for ages 14 and up, plays in around 2 to 3 hours, and does carry an MSRP of $52. This is available right now. So let's swing on over to the other camera and get our first look at Beneath the Med. Regia Marina at Sea, 1940 to 43. So this game is going to take us into the Italian Navy and the Italian submarine force. So I'm going to read a little bit off the back of the box. I'm not going to read everything off of here, but it says Beneath the Med is a solitaire tactical level game placing you in command of an Italian submarine during World War II. This is the fourth game in the Hunter series and covers one of the largest fleets of submarines in the world at the time. You command one of many submarine models available starting in 1940 and look to successfully complete patrols until the armistice in September 1943. Not only is this a standalone game, but fans of the Hunters will enjoy having the capability to complete Italian careers in one of the many interesting classes of Italian submarine. So this is kind of an example of one of the submarine cards. I have reviewed the Hunters as well as Silent Victory. I got to be honest though, I think I'm missing one of the games that I did not do a review of. So I believe 2 of the 3 in the Hunter series I have done reviews of. And a lot of people love the Hunter series. There are some folks out there who aren't as keen on it. We'll kind of discuss that a little bit as we take a look to see what we've got inside the box. Personally, I enjoy it. I enjoy the Hunter series. Then again, I was always a big fan of, gosh, come on, what's with this box? Oh, it's like stuck at the top. Jeez. Got it. As I was saying, I was always a big fan of B-17 Queen of the Skies, as well as a huge fan of Patton's Best. And of course, those were games that had a lot of charts. A lot of what was going on is just random rolls. The Hunter series is very similar to that. So we've got the rules of play. We're going to take a look at all this. So first of all, let's take a look at the rules of play. Open this on up. You know what? We'll zoom in a little bit too for this. There we go. All right. So just kind of taking a peek through the rules here. So we get an introduction, we get how to play. The Hunters series of games are not difficult to jump into to learn how to play. They really aren't. The complexity, I got to be honest, we'll take a look at the back of the box when I finish up with the unboxing here. But the complexity level on the scale of 1 to 9 for GMT shouldn't be too high. It should probably be around 3, maybe 4 at most. So we'll get a discussion of the different playing pieces, setting up the game, your display mat for your submarine, and we will have a few of these we'll be taking a look at. You'll have your patrol log, so loading up with your torpedoes and ammo, discussion of how do you win this game, the sequence of play. I would take a guess that we are not going to see a lot of changes to the core gameplay for Beneath the Med as opposed to other games in the Hunters series. Let's just kind of flip it on through here, going into combat. So essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to sink as much allied shipping and take down whatever capital ships you might be able to during your patrol. As far as the Hunters and Silent Victory, you could earn medals, you could get promotions, you can have crew get better. You can also have crew get injured and get promoted off of the sub. You can have them killed in action, all different things going on. In fact, here's a little section talking about awards. And there we go, promotions, reassignment due to serious wound. You also have refits for your subs as well. There's a lot going on, and you're going to see all these different charts too. So you had different random events. There is multiplayer, so you could conceivably play this as a 2-player game or in tournaments. And we finish up with some designer notes as well as the bibliography. There we go. So all in all, what did we have? About 20? I think we got about 20 pages of rules. Yep, all in all, about 20 pages of rules. And the last page here is really just kind of showing off different optional rules for the game as well. All right, so those are the rules right there, your rules of play. And we get some counter sheets. So let's take a look at some of the counter sheets we've got. And here we have, looks like we've got some British capital ships. Get a little closer in here. Take a closer look at these as well. We'll zoom in as far as we can go. Kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at here. So we've got the Ark Royal, Royal Oak, the Renown, the Queen Elizabeth, Prince of Wales, some freighters, tankers, and these are dual-sided. Then we have another counter sheet here. So it's showing, looks like these are the different classes up here of submarines, tracking your hull damage. So a lot of these are informational markers here. We've got our torpedoes. So we've got some different metals as well. Just kind of giving you an idea what we're looking at. We got some mine counters as well down here. Different operations. And these are also dual-sided. So we do have wounds for the different crew members. We also have the basically telling us what kind of experience level we have for our crew as well. So there we've got that. We've got our patrol log. So we've got a pad, pretty good sized pad for our patrol log here. Just kind of going down the list. So in essence, you can actually have your entire career on this one sheet because you'll have patrol months and then you'll also have periods where the submarine is back being refitted. And of course, dual-sided. two sided to the pad. It's decent amount of pages here for you, and of course, obviously enough, you can easily scan this and print this out yourself. So we're going to start taking a look at some of the classes of submarines, and I will. Should we zoom out a little bit? Yeah, let's zoom out a little bit. Try to get a little more of this in the shot. There we go. Not going to get the full mat in the shot, but we'll take a look. We'll take a look at different areas of it. So, showing the class when it's available, giving us some dimensions as well as tonnage of the sub. We get an image of the submarine as well. Our torpedo tubes, our deck gun, what kind of anti-aircraft we might have, our aft torpedo tubes. So we saw those torpedo counters. You would actually put them in here when you had your tubes loaded. Also put your reloads here as well, and your aft reloads here. So we've got our hull damage, we've got our flooding, we've got engine damage, as well as other aspects of the submarine that could be damaged as well. The periscope, the radio, hydrophones, batteries, fuel tanks, dive planes. We also have a track here. Where are we out on patrol? So are we in the Western Med, Central Med, Eastern Med? And at what point are we in the patrol? So, we have to transit. We're in transit to the patrol area. And this is all in the rules. Then here we've got an area that shows us our crew status. And then if we're in port for a refit. And we're going to have a variety of different classes. I think I saw there's a dozen. So we're going to find out right now. So we've got that class. Then we've got the Adua class, which looks like this is probably the first one we're going to take on because it's available in June 1940. Kind of give us an idea. I like the way the mat is laid out. I really do. I think everything is pretty handy. Everything is right there in front of you. Like I said, there are some folks who aren't big fans of the Hunter series because of a lot of the randomness. We're going to start looking at some of those charts and that in a few moments. And okay, here's the funny thing that I had mentioned on the Daily Dope, my live stream, just the other day when we were talking about this being available beneath the med. And I said, I think sometimes games like B-17, Queen of the Skies, Patton's Best, The Hunters, games that have a lot of these charts to create randomness. I think people who have experience with role-playing games tend to enjoy those games a bit more than people who have never played role-playing games. I don't know if it has to do with just being able to kind of imagine these things going on, or just rolling with, no pun intended, rolling with the dice, with what the dice roll. I don't know, but I just sort of have an impression, and I could be completely wrong. This is just a gut reaction. I think that folks who have more experience with kind of role-playing games probably enjoy these games a little bit more than some people who just only play war games, and that is it. Only conflict sims and nothing else. So this looks like another class that's available in June 1940. That's cool. Oh, wow, there's a big patrol area for this. Very cool. Spanish coast. It's got a longer range. No wonder. It's got to be it. It's got a much longer range than the other class. The Cagney class, another that's available in June 1940. This one looks like this has pretty good range as well. A lot of torpedo tubes to load up here. This looks like this could be a serious submarine. Nice. Okay, so far we've got 4. Here's the 5th. And of course, just a casual glance, I can't tell you really the major differences outside of seeing these patrol areas and seeing, who has, forward torpedo tubes. Of course, obviously enough, I would think they're all going to pretty much have kind of the same anti-aircraft So that's a pretty cool image of this sub as well. Okay, so this is a later model that came out, later class. This is January 1943. This becomes available. It's like a much smaller sub. Oh, it looks like it's still got pretty good operating range. The Foca class. This is also a June 1940 class. This looks like much shorter range on its patrols. Got another one here. Very cool. I like how we get the image of the submarine. That is very cool. I love that. Yeah, so we've got 4 more classes to go. I didn't realize there were so many different classes of submarines that were in service for the Italian Navy in 1940. This is what, the 5th, I think, that we've seen that shows that it's available in June 1940. And of course, your commander can be promoted or moved to another class of submarine. That can happen. Look at that. Another one that's June 1940. So it looks like we've got a number of how many were produced, and some of these have very small runs. So it looks like that's 11 for total produced. I just saw one that said 5. So here we go. And then we've got the final submarine mat, the Marconi class, also June 1940. This one, 6 were produced. Going to give you an idea of this. And then the Perla class, also available in June 1940. There were 10 of these produced. Kind of interesting that it seems like the Italian Navy just couldn't decide on a design that they wanted to stick with. I'm just kind of curious, out of these, which one had the most shown that were produced? Like right here, this says that there were 2 of these produced. 3 of these. 48. Well, no, it says 12. I don't know what the 48 in parentheses means. Maybe there were more of these produced after the war. I don't know. Here's 5. Here's 4. Jeez. 13. Here we go. It's available in 1942. And 17. So I guess out of all of these subs, the Adua class was the most prevalent. What the hell am I saying? Prevalent. Jeez. Yeah, I need to grab a sip here. So, yes. So there were this was the submarine that had the most numbers produced. Prevalent, Jeff. Jeez. So then here we've got a map of the patrol areas. So this is where you're going to mark where your submarine is, even though you also have an area on your board to be marking it. So we've got the 2 sides there. Cool. All right. So now we're going to start getting into these different charts. And before we do that, I will show you we've got some 6-sided dice. Might as well open this up. Trying to remember if the hunters had a 20-sided die. I don't remember there being a 20-sided die in the mix. Maybe there was. I do remember the 10-siders and the 6-siders, but there's also a 20-sider included with our dice. All right, so let's take a look at some of these different charts that we've got. So we've got submarine patrol assignment for the Mediterranean, aircraft encounters, anti-aircraft attack versus aircraft. Another patrol assignment and aircraft encounters. We've got an encountered chart. So it's showing us what we might encounter depending on where we're located on our patrol. So we do have capital ships, aircraft, ships and escorts, a warship, convoy. So it's showing us the different areas here. Then we go into the different combat, because once you go into combat, there are certain phases of that combat, the rounds of combat. Here we have submarine torpedo and deck gun fire chart, torpedo dud chart. We've got our die roll modifiers as well there. Escort detection, escort air attack, submarine damage. As I mentioned, there's a lot of different charts on here in this game. More, this is like detailed information about the submarine damage as well as performing repairs. Got our crew injury here as well. Then, this is what I always thought was interesting. I always thought this was one of the very interesting aspects of the Hunters. We actually have real ships. So when you encounter a small freighter, you're going to roll a D100. You're going to roll percentile dice and see what ship it would be. Now, of course, if you've been tracking your career and say you roll the same ship that you already sank, well, of course, you're going to re-roll it. But I thought this was very cool. I thought this was very interesting to give it just a little more flavor, a little more story to the game itself, because we've got the various different ships. So we also will have the tankers. So we've got tankers which have names. We've got, if we're in the Caribbean or off the coast of Brazil, the different targets there. Flip this on over. If we encounter a warship, different warships we can run across. Capital ship target roster. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So now we get a chart here with random events. So we can have different random events that could take place. But you only have one random event take place in a patrol, if I remember correctly. So then we've got other different attack procedures. We have the attack mat, as I mentioned before. When you get into combat, you're going to have different phases of your combat. You're going to try to close range. So you're actually going to track what's going on with your targets as well. This is only one side because you're going to leave this out on the table along with your submarine mat. Then we also have the commander and crew status. You know what? This looks new. I don't remember this being part of the Hunters. I might be wrong because it's been quite a while since I played the Hunters, but I don't seem to recall this. So you can track all the different awards that you might be given, the medals you could earn, skills for your crew. I'm going to take a guess it's probably single-sided too. Yep, because you're going to leave that out. So in essence, what you would have right out on the table with you is going to be this, and then one of your submarine mats. So those are going to be in front of you at all times while you're playing. And of course, you're going to have all these charts on hand as well and refer to them when you do need them. Or let's zoom back out. All right, so we've got all the various different charts and the map of our patrol area. We have our attack mat. We've got our commander and crew status. We've got the 12 different submarine classes, as well as our patrol log, and a sheet and a half approximately of counters. Of course, here's the insert for Beneath the Med. And of course, then we've got our rules of play. And that is everything from Beneath the Med when we take everything outside the box. Let's flip this over. Remember, I was going to tell you, let's see. Oh, they don't even show well, here. Okay, so complexity. Usually we have the little box that's got the numbers. It says complexity low to moderate. As I mentioned before, the Hunter series is pretty easy to jump on into. All right, let's swing back over to the other camera. So I am going to get a review done for Beneath the Med as soon as I can. This should be pretty easy to get a review done because it's a solitaire game. And even during this time of pandemic, I have time to be able to, jump in and play solitaire games. I don't have to worry about somebody else showing up for me to be able to play. As I mentioned before, Beneath the Med is from GMT Games. It's designed by Gregory M. Smith with art provided by Roger B. McGowan and Ian Wedge. The game is for one player, ages 14 and up, plays in around 2 to 3 hours per patrol, really. You're not going to play your entire career out in 3 hours. Well, unless you get sunk early on. The game is available right now. It does carry an MSRP of $52. As I always point out when I talk about GMT games, if you have any interest whatsoever in Beneath the Med, pick it up now. Don't wait, because GMT Games does not have huge print runs. So these games sell out rather quickly. And if you're interested in this new entry into the Hunters lineup and you wait too long, it'll be gone. And then you're stuck having to wait for a reprint or paying top dollar on the secondary market, and you don't want to do that. All right, that is it for this time out. Once again, let me remind you, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ring that notification bell, because it will not only let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also tell you when my live stream, The Daily Dope, airs right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, as I bring you the latest in tabletop gaming news. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, until I see you next, as I have been closing out all of my videos during this pandemic, unfortunately, let me hope that all of you out there be smart, stay safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, let me point out that the things I'm going to be pointing at, if you are just watching the Daily Dope stream, you may not see what I'm pointing at. Usually it will take about 12 hours once the stream is finished for YouTube to allow me to add my end screen. But if you're watching one of my other videos, such as my reviews or interviews, first looks, pastures, what have you, well, then by all means, click right here and you can subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel. If you click right up here, you'll find the latest episode of my live stream, The Daily Dope. And if you click over here, that's going to show you something that YouTube thinks you might like. Regardless, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thank you very much for watching.